Yes, hi Kia, how are you? Bradley from WBB Nation and WNBA Swish. At the announcement earlier, the sports and media world kind of converged with the rapper Drake there, 76ers guard Kyle Lowry, and members of the Toronto Raptors. Can you speak to all the support already for the team from the media and sports world, even though it's not playing for another 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very telling of Canada, and as a country, this is a very historic day for women's basketball and women's sports in general. Has been very exciting within the Canadian environment, especially with this season's PWHL and the success and the sellout crowds and the record-breaking crowds and desire for women's hockey. I think it was really exciting for us to kind of have that as well for women's basketball, and it has been on the rise for a long time. It's been something that people have really wanted, and there's been a desire, and it's been really loud and really public from the people within Canada, from the people within the media. And I think that's really important to be able to have that much support around an organization that's obviously just starting up and will finally get its feet on the ground and running in 2 years. Alexis?
Hey Kia, Alexis Davis, Anscape, and the next. We actually got to talk the first day when CBC first came out with it, but the WNBA hadn't made it official yet. But just can you just speak from a standpoint of, you were a young girl that didn't have a Canada WNBA team in market, just how you think that will be changed now, how they will have role models, they'll be able to have those player interactions and not have to travel to the States for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of if you can see it, then you can be it. And so I think that's a big piece of it, is having those role models. And like you mentioned, first time I was able to actually see women's basketball, I was in the States. And so to be able to, be in a place where this is kind of the next generation, I think we'll see it. Like, we'll see the reaction of it right away in terms of, the support and the fan base and the excitement and the community work that I know the organization will do and the way that the community will surround the team. But I think it's really those generations that are coming up now, and then a little bit in 10, 15 years, that's going to be the big kicker. I think when you talk about Canadian basketball players right now, whether it's us that are in the WNBA or those who are in the NBA, a lot of us will tell you we're kind of the Vince Carter generation kids. And the way that he kind of came into the Toronto Raptors and he put basketball on the map in a very hockey-based country, we are now kind of seeing how that has reaped benefits for our generation. And now we have all these players who are not only just playing at the highest level, but are playing in successful roles on successful teams in the highest level. So to be able to have that for young women, I think is going to be something that's truly special. And as an athlete and, athletes with our Canadian national team as well, we understand that a lot of it's not just about being able to have opportunities to play in a professional league, because we get it. Not everybody's going to be a professional athlete, but to want to play and to have something that they can work towards and kind of see that this is what basketball can do for me, the life skills that they're going to learn along the way are so, so important. So it's not only going to be a ripple effect for Canadian women in basketball, but it'll be a ripple effect for Canadian women in general in society and leadership roles. That'll be really, really important. Do we have any other questions for Kia? Brad?
Yes, Kia, one follow-up question. In the announcement, they really made it clear that the expansion team is just not for the city of Toronto, but for the whole country of Canada. Can you speak to how the organization is already putting itself for not just that city, but the whole country?
Yeah, I think when I come here to America and I tell some of my friends and my teammates around here about what it's like to play for a team that's strictly, a Canadian team in a US league. If you think about the Toronto Raptors, the excitement around, their championship run a couple of years ago and the excitement on grassroots basketball since then has been so exciting. And when you look at it, it's not only you know, we look at the Raptors specifically, it's not one city that's cheering on a team, it's an entire country. And because there are no other teams spread out within Canada, that's kind of going to be the same thing for the WNBA. And I know that within the press conference, I did speak about playing games in Vancouver, obviously on the West Coast, and then playing games in Montreal, which the NBA has kind of actually branched out into those. Obviously, there used to be a team in the NBA in Vancouver, but recently in a lot of the Raptors kind of preseason games, they've gone and played in Montreal. They go and they play in Vancouver. They've gone and played in Edmonton. And so being able to kind of share our team and the Toronto Raptors specifically with the entire country has kind of been a big piece of that. And I think this organization with the WNBA Toronto team will do the same thing and be able to kind of branch out and allow Canadians across the country to cheer for them, but also to be able to see them in person, because like I mentioned earlier, it's so important to have those role models, and to have those role models within the building that you can be able to see is going to be really important.